All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show for Tuesday, October 1st. It's October, and that means one thing: Major League Baseball playoffs today, going off here in just a few hours, get you set and ready for the game. Some people thought yesterday were the playoffs, but of course, that was the regular season. And we did find out who's advancing here. Won't be the Arizona Diamondbacks after, well, they saw the doubleheader split, like we said, right? Maybe it didn't go right for us on that first game, but it was easy to come in, I thought, on Atlanta in game two, and they end up with that split. Everybody talking about what a great game one was. It was a crummy game, actually, in the terms of two teams headed for the playoffs and the situation they've kind of put themselves in to a certain extent. And man, when you see teams just hitting the wall like they did with the bullpens and everything, and big time variance, but big time clutch hitting as well from some superstars. But still, it does feel like those teams are going to be up against it here in this next series. In baseball, anything can happen. So they're in, they got their chance, and Arizona's kicking themselves, feeling like they had their destiny in their own hands to a certain extent and didn't follow through. So we'll preview the four games today. It's our featured coverage here as we get ready for your sports betting day. Thank you for starting it here with me on the Morning Steam Show as we prepare you for the day's action here. And hey, how about live sports action? Japan Open right now. Nice spirited match here between a couple of Frenchmen here in the final with Fees and Humbert, and they're in the third set with a good match. And I didn't go premium on it, man. Tough match, and it is tight here late. So just a fun match here going on today with a little bit of action here in the morning. We also have today WNBA playoffs, couple of games. We're going to rematch them up here after game one. The home team's held serve. Can they get it done again today? What's going to happen in the WNBA playoffs? We'll get your opinions. You'll get my opinion. And hopefully we'll tackle it together tonight, Aces and Liberty, Sun and Lynx. Also, we'll run down the Champions League board, and I'll have some plays today as well on our light card. Want to extend it out a little bit and cover a little bit more action for you here today. And well, there's NHL preseason. We're not going to cover it, but just want to mention also the NBA preseason gets underway this Friday. I believe at 3 p.m. I'm still getting it together here for my preseason coverage, but we're just about ready for WNBA. Like I said, on a great show last night, we were over there with Jimmy the Bag on PSR with the Monday night coverage. Certainly had a great time with those guys, and just talking about sports betting season, right? Yeah, football has been here for several weeks now, and we're really getting into the smack of the season, but it's going to be sports betting here season in just a few weeks when we start popping off with NBA, NHL every night. And we'll have great shows here on the Morning Steam, so you won't have me rambling about things that aren't necessarily related to sports betting, but can't advance today's show without thinking about a couple of popular players, man, that we lost yesterday with Dikembe Mutombo, Jumbo, Mutombo, Wombo, and I think that's his name. I want to get it right. I do disrespect to one of everybody's favorite players, certainly passing away yesterday early on, just right after we got off the show, really, we found out about Dikembe passing away. A lot of people say they were surprised. There was, Dikembe did have those issues with his brain back as many as 2 years ago. It was reported, so he just kind of stayed low a little bit. And we do. Man, he was just great. Let's just face it. We love Dikembe Mutombo, Maplondo, Mukamba, Jacques Wamutombo. There we go. I want to kind of say his name, but I tweeted out something that I think was very poignant of Mutombo's career, not only on the court as one of the most dominant defensive players of all time, who could play a little bit offensively as well. certainly. And we see Arthur Fees able to get the last three games and beat Humbert here for the Japan Open final. But U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, the man who's doing incredible work, uh, as a trying to bring things together. But he said about Mutombo, "You've done so much to bring the world together," and he said that publicly at an event in Congo where. Mutombo did so many great things building he built hospitals over there and things like that. So, but also, of course, yesterday, maybe the bigger news was the passing of Pete Rose, the Major League Baseball all-time hit leader. And it's poignant here on our show, right, where we focus on sports and sports gambling. We know Pete was a big-time gambler who, well, he actually come to despise sports betting in the end because it cost him everything that he had worked for and everything that meant something to him, right? As far as getting his lifetime ban from baseball. They told me last night on the show when I mentioned, I said, well, maybe Pete will make it to the Hall of Fame now because of his passing. They kind of shot me down pretty quick and said, probably not. But remember, Pete Rose had a lifetime ban, and that life is unfortunately over without him making it to the Baseball Hall of Fame. He's in our Hall of Fame. You know that. So really that's all that matters because really Pete Rose represented baseball, the game itself, right? Yes, Major League Baseball is a league that contests a championship every year, but Pete Rose transcended the game in the way people gravitated towards Pete because the way he played baseball. And talking about players of today that maybe they don't play like they did back in Pete's day. So, you know what? And as a gambler back in the day, I think if you look really deeply at the record of the Giamatti report of how Pete's gambling was exposed, he was just like you and me. He was firing, well, I don't know if we were firing a couple grand a game, but and he did it with private bookmakers and everything like that. You could see his sheets. They're just there, 2,000, 3,000 on every game. Really just firing away probably before he went to his managerial job. And yes, he never bet on the Reds. He never really influenced the game enough necessarily. He may have bet, on every team, but he was just like you and me, man. He's just trying to bet, thinking he knows better than everybody else. So in the end, when baseball now gets all of their attention, and money from all these betting companies and ads and all the influences showing the odds even on the screen in the middle of a game, doesn't make any sense. So I would think that maybe posthumously he will make it to the Hall of Fame. I thought it was disgusting the way the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame sent out a social media post yesterday acknowledging the passing of Pete Rose when they wouldn't even acknowledge him when he was alive. So baseball's got a lot of problems, but I think that Pete said he liked Manfred as a person, and I think Manfred is going to come to terms and they will find a way, especially now on this day of October 1st, the day after Pete's passing and the Major League Baseball playoffs starting. So we're going to see that here certainly in the days to come. I think baseball is going to try to make amends. But as Pete said last night, I posted this on my X account, Pete's last interview. If anybody wants to check it out on my social media page, Pete's last interview, I believe just a couple of weeks ago, we did a long interview with a reporter from KTLA, and he talked about his own mortality and said, basically, I think the Hall of Fame is for players that are living. Because you want to share that moment with your family and with your friends and contemporaries. You don't want to be celebrated when you're 10 feet under, and paraphrasing a little bit, but you can hear the interview. And, for Pete, as crusty as he became and as dislikable as he was to a lot of people, if you really listen to him, and he was off the rails a little bit over the last couple of years in a way, but maybe just defending himself. But he reached deep down in this interview, and even if we all are kind of in a older fog as we get older, I'm speaking from that, but I think his words were very clear, and it really was the best I'd ever heard Pete on the issue over the last couple of years, talking about it, and it really struck me there what he said yesterday. So hopefully, if you can check it out, or you can just put it on YouTube, you can find it. believe it was called Pete Rose Last Interview. So certainly was a big fan of Pete, no matter what people thought him. I liked him because he was a gambler. In fact, he probably could have been the greatest tout of all time. Really, like I said, I'm never giving up this tout life. You're going to hear me making picks, selling picks, everything about it. Pete could have been huge in this industry, and he was a tout for a certain time, publicly on radio, kind of as a handicapper in a way, but also as a sports talk host and all that. So I think it's important today to talk about Pete, and maybe I'll mention him later when we get into the baseball. All right. Let me say hello to everyone in the chat. Enough of the monologue here. We didn't even talk yet about the football games last night and fun time I had over there. Also, you know who we had? Justin on screen, and you were magic, Justin, yesterday. Let's say hello to everybody. Joey Harb was here. I got here and I was like, no one's in the chat. Am I in the wrong studio here? Am I in the wrong show? Joe Alvarado here today. R. Tomps, thank you as always. An Irish King here. There's Justin. If anybody didn't see the show, man, Justin, totally. I thought Justin's made an appearance once somewhere, I thought, but just was awesome to have Justin on screen yesterday, and everyone was stoked by it. And I was waving stacks of money on camera. And who saw me doing the safety dance last night? I'm have to come to terms with that. Fortunately, even though Jimmy says he wants to record, you never see those goofy things that I do. Dave says it will be a Padres Cleveland World Series, but now I've got to worry about Justin first. We've got to get through the Braves here. How about Goff's night last night? 18 for 18. So overlooked was Goff's performance that Coach Campbell gave the game ball to someone else. And when he was told that Goff went 18 for 18, he said, whoops, my bad. Should have given the game ball to Goff. All right, Jermaine's here, Subhuman's here. I'm going to need Subhuman here. Look, I've got some Champions League plays, but I don't want them to get shot down. If I see any soccer plays, let me know. And I'm going to make some picks. I got some premiums in Champions League today with the light card. Real Deal Prime is here. Dave wonders if Pete will make it to the Hall of Fame. And like I said, it was a lifetime ban. So I think that says it all right there. And I want to send out my true, sincere apology to Am I Lying? I mean, come on. I was trying to turn it into something else there, but of course, Am I Lying has been great here, stopping by in the past a little bit, and I've said it wrong every time, and it's obvious to me now. And even the other day, I said it wrong 10 times. It felt like, yes. And I remember one of my favorite moments I talked about that the great Tony Gwynn was in his first game as a rookie, and he hit a double. Pete Rose was playing on the other team of the Phillies, and maybe it was the Expo. I think it was the Phillies at that time. And Tony went trotting into second base with a stand-up double, and Pete ran right behind him, shake his hand, told Tony Gwynn, the great Tony Gwynn. Pete Rose told him, hey, kid, don't try to catch me in one night. Of course, Rose, the all-time hits leader. No one's got more hits than Pete Rose, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. We can go elsewhere with, the steroid era and those players, but this was different. Pete Rose was different. Pete Rose was the epitome of how the game was supposed to be played, I think. Even down to the, small ball, the base hits. There's a reason why Pete Rose was able to play the game, right? You don't see anybody today playing for 24 years like Pete Rose did. 4,256 base hits, 17-time All-Star, 3 World Series. Did you guys see the picture of Pete with some of the old Cincinnati Reds there with Dave Concepcion, George Foster, just a few weeks ago? In fact, just a few days ago, I think it was actually. So I like that little thing right there with Real Deal Prime. All right, here's Subhuman with some of that Champions League. Let me take a look at some of this right now. He's got the Stuttgart game. there. Boat BTTS for sub. I'm going to write these down, man. And what else is he saying here? Stuttgart to score in both halves. Sub liking Stuttgart here, it feels like today. He's also got Bayern on the money line and over 1.5. Okay. I imagine on that one, he's make sure I want to get it right here. And I would think, unless he's referring to Leverkusen there in that one, right? I want to make sure of that. Maybe it just has it spelled wrong, or instincts put an A-N on the end there. Or am I, is it on next? Is it, might have to look at the, yeah, you got me thinking might be the next day's worth of action here. They're playing Villa tomorrow, so maybe it is Bayern tomorrow. I'm going to get that square. So I could just look at the lines, I guess, but I got a show to run, brother, but I want to get the soccer in today. All right. JW says those chalky props kind of came through. I was split on my props yesterday on the show. I didn't get to wrap it up with the boys last night there, but Dave, I should let Nate. I took Tim Patrick to get a touchdown, but just had one reception for 24 yards, but absolutely looked terrific blocking earlier in the game as well. But I split my props yesterday on the show with those guys, ruining a winning streak there a little bit. Odds. Oh, there's Sharpie here today. Can't wait. I can't wait. Want to see what he has to say. I should probably get rolling here so we can get on with it. I don't want to keep the legend waiting here. And I want to say hello to everyone here. Philly Eagle Flyer in there. And maybe I'll catch up here to you guys on the screen. I'll go fast here now. We got to get rolling. That's awesome. Yeah. Gonna channel Pete. Like I said, he could have been awesome as a tout, man. He should have went tout. Pete should have went tout. I'm telling you. All right. Cliff Floyd here today as well. Hopefully I'm caught up here. You guys great in the comments. Want to get Sharpie's comments in here. I love that. Oh, Sharp. Yeah, we've lamented it here a little bit when Noli stopped by about the Dodgers. I mean, there's no doubt the Padres just have certain things in place, but it's the Dodger bats that they'll have to overcome. I'm going to have to go through as a Padres fan, the Braves, the Dodgers, who knows after that. All right. Thanks to everybody. There it is for Justin. And oldie, you know what? If you only had anything, I guess the volume of Pete's autographs aren't as important as the autographs to the people themselves. I would think, right? Pete's autograph, with all due respect to oldie and everybody who has Pete memorabilia, Pete, signs so much memorabilia, it really has very little value, but it has more value to the people holding it, and that's what memorabilia should be all about, actually. And let's see here. Oh, thanks, Dave. Did he have another catch there in the game? Awesome. I missed that. Yeah, Justin, want to make sure I get that all the way here with those picks. Okay, Subhuman says it will be on that Munich game for tomorrow. And yeah, we're going to at least look at the lines of every game. Want to just let everybody know what they can bet on today. That's kind of what I do here. Yeah, I'm going to give you a bunch of picks. Thanks, you guys, for a great chat today. I know I went a little long on this stuff, but we got a short card. And, well, you know what? One thing they promised me over here at the Sports Money Network is I can just talk about whatever I want. So I'm very thankful that got 5 dozen of you in here listening to me talk about my thoughts about it before I go into our baseball betting here. All right, just got a little bit of college football steam rolling in here right now. There's been some others I haven't talked about, but this one catches my eye. South Alabama and Arkansas State under 62.5 right now. Seeing some steam here. This one's probably going to go down to 61 or so here in this one. We are waiting also just about to go here. for a great match right now. Talking about some of those that tennis action here just about to start. Naomi Osaka and Coco Gauff. If you want some good tennis action while we're all talking here, that pretty good match right now coming from Beijing. This one's about to start here in just a few moments. All right, I think I've gotten everybody here, and PZ here talking Padres. All right, one more thing before we go here. Please follow me over at the Winnable app. This is where I do my business with my premium picks. So if you're interested in more picks from me here, I'm going to give you all my favorite games here in just a little bit and some of my favorite plays. But I do put my best selections over on the Winnable app. And you know what? I charge a couple of bucks for it. So please support me here on the show by going to winnable.com/Ramon. And you can subscribe to my picks over there, send out my best plays. Really what I do here is I give you a bunch of plays and go over the games with you, hopefully make some great picks. And then throughout the day, I have more picks as well. So if you hit me up over there, you'll see it here on your device, and you can subscribe to the picks here. And I have a free account as well where you get free selections from me every day. It's covered here by Apple Pay, Google Pay, and it goes through Stripe. So it's pretty legit, and it allows me to send out my favorite plays and keep a steady stream of action going. For people who enjoy that sort of thing, you can turn on the notifications, get more picks from me every day in a plethora of sports, not just the big ones here. You can save 20% by using the promo code STEAM, and I got great package here. You get all the picks for 1 month as the stock market stuff comes rolling in here too. But 1 month for $20, and you're going to get plays every day. Usually sending out between 1 to 3 updates to the free account, and then usually I'd say 2 to 5 updates with the VIP premium pick account. So appreciate that. All right, let's get into it. Been a half hour here talking, and you guys are doing a great job already in the chat. So let's get to it. And Peasy's got the over. He expects a great match with Coco and Naomi. Going to be an awesome match here. I guess it's going to come in right after this great final I just watched here. And Sharpie ready to talk here about the Orioles game. So hey, let's just get to it and go in order here of the games so we can get on with it. All right. The Tigers here and the Astros with Tariq Skubal going up against Framber in this one. Yeah, you're going to hear a lot of feel for the Tigers here with the great run that they were on. And hey, are we all tired of Houston always, right? Can we get a good start here by Detroit? Well, feels real close here to me. I'm probably going to drift to the total as my play here on the show, but does seem still a little high, right, for having Tariq Skubal. It's almost to me like, you know what, maybe Tigers are a public dog, but hey, maybe the value's still with the Tigers if they're going to hang this $1.50 or so still on them here. So go ahead and put your comments in the chat. You got both guys are awesome. I mean, Skubal, of course, 2.39 ERA, just terrific. Maybe we can get the Cy Young votes here in the chat. Got some hot experts in here, but you got Framber with a 2.91 ERA. You know, both guys probably 67% winners for their respective teams over the season in the games that they pitch. I'm sure that handicappers are still slamming the under here despite this low total here, certainly. I want to interrupt here a little bit. Steam play right now. College football, Hawaii and San Diego State. We're seeing this one go over 46.5. You're going to have Hawaii trying what they do on offense. You got San Diego State. You know what? That was the first time I'd really felt like this is what San Diego State's supposed to be about with this new look and this new offense. And when they start playing maybe some of these, teams that are on their level or even below it, I think they might be in pretty good position. The Steam's coming in on the over with Hawaii and San Diego State. All right, go ahead and chime in with some of your comments in here if you want with this great opener. This is actually, you look at these matchups, they all are cool, but the last two National League games are going to look a little clunky because of maybe what's going on with the pitching situation with those visiting teams. But here in this one feels pretty awesome. You got Detroit having won 7 of their last 8 games on the road here. Houston's done a nice job. They've won 6 of the last 8 meetings here with Detroit. So let's have it here in the chat, see what you guys have. I'm just going to take the under, I'll tell you right now, so you guys can get it out of the way and either tail or fade or give me the plays here a little bit. What do we got here with Detroit and Houston? I think Justin's lead. Thanks again, man, Justin. You were so cool last night. Astros over 3.5 team total here in this one. And, Justin was kind of talking about his challenged technology, but man, Justin, you put the plays in the chat so fast. I'm calling a little bluff on you there. At least you know how to get those plays on the screen, I guess, quickly. All right, here we go. Jermaine says the Tigers are going to get rocked here in this one. JW says Houston can get to Skubal here. And Dave says Skubal is your man. He's taking the under. Is he talking about Dave talking about me? Is Skubal my man? Yeah, Skubal is my man, I guess, here. But I don't know if I can even say, Houston's got all the experience of all those plays. Yeah, they do have a lot of guys, obviously, with a lot of experience here. I almost think that Framber is going to be the key in this game. All right. And Joey, I think what we saw there, Joey, right now with that Atlanta, well, maybe we could I don't want to get too far off the beaten path here with that, but I think now that we've seen the matchup itself, and I think it's easy to just say, oh, Bryce Elder, but I think they landed on the right guy. Obviously, it sucks about Sale. We definitely want to see, I don't want to see Sale against the Padres, but I think as a fan, we want to see him in there. We'll get to the Padre game. That's the news, though, over the night was that Sale will not pitch in this first series. That's what Snitker said yesterday in a press conference. So, okay, thank you, Sharpie. Here we go. Happy on Valdez over. Yeah, this is where I think the key to the game for me lies today. I am taking the under. I'm going to save my premium here, but just if you can read between the lines here, I think Framber is the key in this one. I think his probable dominance over some of the Detroit hitters here, especially at the top of the lineup with Meadows and Carpenter, probably even down to Riley Green a little bit too. Those key bats he can neutralize, it feels like here to me, and he will be the key. Skubal's awesome, and these guys may end up in a wild pitcher in a pitcher's duel of some type that maybe could lend to some volatility here. Like I said, I still think the value's with Detroit. I just don't know if I can get off the numbers here. It feels like with Framber for me. We love Skubal. We love Skubal. All right. Peasy says, give me a Nerfy with the Astros money line. And let's see here. Our Tomps on the Astros. Clips on the Astros. Look at this. And right, Justin, that's funny you say it like that, Justin, because you know what? I feel like I'm a little bit, I don't know if I'm a cutting edge or I'm behind the times a little bit. You see, everyone's got fancy graphics. I have to use this program, this StreamYard, but everyone's using StreamYard. But the funny thing is, if you go back and anybody who's been on these channels a little bit and how they've developed over the years, well, some of the shows were being run, even talking back off of Google Hangouts and things like that. We used to run some shows out there. Remember with Keg, with Jason from New York, who I've been appearing on his shows on Sunday as well. If you check that out over at the Nuke the House Network, on there with Holden Kushner and Keg on Sundays, going over some late steam and some news and notes right before the NFL games. So check me out over there. But right at the time, and I'm starting to get into it a little bit too with the videos and all this stuff. And Google Hangouts issued a thing, right? Google Hangouts is going away. No more Google Hangouts. And people were starting to do shows like this. This is probably before the pandemic. And I had started looking at the StreamYard product because I was trying to branch out a little bit, try to do my own thing or whatever. I didn't know where I was going to go to the other channel that we were on shortly after that or whatever. But I told them, I said, you know what? This is how you're going to be doing the videos right now is this StreamYard technology. And so everybody uses it now, it feels like. Some people use the OBS and have their own things, but this just makes it easy for someone like me. All right. Philly Eagle Flyers got that tie game thing. And Peasy here. All right, let me see here. Justin says, you know what, you get even an out less. Altuve over prop here. And I got you, Justin. I got you. I feel you on that. I think I know what you say. Okay, here we go. Is that it for this game? Because I'm just going to go with the under. You guys have some nice props in there. And Dave, right, Dave? We used to tape our show, Dave, right? And then I'd reformat it. In fact, Dave, you know what? The show that we did where we would tape ourselves talking about the games and then put the video highlights over it is actually way more aesthetically pleasing than any of this live stuff that we do now, I'm afraid. But maybe we'll get there with that. All right, that's it for this game, you guys. I'm going to take the under here in this one, and that should be awesome. Stand by for my premiums today. Probably have something in every game. Go with that, our high volume approach. All right, Sharpie's been talking about this one. Let's get it going here with Detroit and Houston. Cole Reagans and Corbin Burns here. And like I said, I mean, I think as just someone who maybe you can look at it honestly here, it does feel like the value is with the Royals here. It's just, can I stand some of their woes in a way here. Look, I think the Royals offense is probably pretty well suited here against Corbin Burns today, and maybe makes that value pretty good. But man, $1.50, it just feels high, and I don't know, I'm confusing myself a little bit here, but maybe we'll get some of the input, and maybe I can decide what I'm on. I know what I'm on, but I just want to see what you guys have. You got here in this one with Burns a 2.92 ERA this season. The Orioles 20-12 with Burns on the mound. With Cole Reagans on the mound, you think of the Royals. They finished over 500, but Cole Reagans, they were just 16-16 in his decisions this season. They did go under in 19 of his 32 starts this season, but Burns was a big time over. Yeah, sometimes riding the hot bats there of Baltimore, but 20-12, or I'm sorry, 18-10 to the over with 4 pushes for Burns this season. So Baltimore here, they've won 7 of the last 8 games here in Baltimore against the Royals. 7 of the last 8 games for Kansas City on the road have gone under. Let's get some comments from you guys in the chat. Another awesome game. And they're going to overlap here. This one will be at 4:08 Eastern, 1:08 Pacific time. The other game is at 2:32 Eastern, 11:32 Pacific. So about an hour and a half gap in between each of the first 3 games, so they overlap. And then the Padre game will be a standalone feature. All right, we got comments from the chat here with the Royals and the O's. In this one, we've got Dave coming in here first with Royals game to go over here in this one. All right. Hey, 1K's here. Nice to always have 1K. Thank you for your support. Also, 1K. Appreciate you very, very much. Thomas here is going to go with the Royals. All right. Looks like not much from you guys in this one. I'll give it another minute or two. Maybe try to I was kind of wanting to see what you guys were thinking here. Like I said, I think the Royals have a well-suited offense for the most part against the Orioles today, and I want to take them at this price. I don't know if I could be talked off of it here, actually. Philly Eagle Flyer, he's got it tied after 2. That crazy bet. Okay, here we go with some plays. How about Cole Reagans' strikeouts? I'm sure Jerry's saying over here in this one, unless he's just reporting to us the odds. Justin says Royals under 3.5 in the first 5. All right, I'm feeling contrarian here. I'm going to take the Royals in this one. Just plus money to win this game. I've got an upset here with the Royals. I just like their position here against Corbin Burns actually today. And I will say I like Reagan's advantages here a little bit over Gunnar. Over also probably Cowser, O'Hearn, those guys. I'll be looking to fade here a little bit. And definitely Peasy. The Royals had some struggles. They had 2 7-game losing streaks down the stretch. Yeah, Peasy. I think if you look at the splits here, for me is what I'm thinking with these guys right now. I mean, all the way up and down the lineup, quite frankly. Pham, Witt, Perez, Gurriel, try to get it together here in this one. And to me, the price just feels high. My opinion's really market based, and $1.50 here, I just can't go there right now. So, all right, JW says the O's are going to smash here in this one. All right, well, I've got the down arrow. Like I said, I've got the down arrow on Gunner. I've got the down arrow on Mullins. I've got the down arrow on O'Hearn, and I'm going Royals here in this one. All right, I feel a little bit contrarian there. All right, let's continue on right now. And we got one more here. Terrell says Kansas City over 3.5 runs. All right. Hey, Dana Delp. Nice to have you here. Justin says Altuve. Oh, a little. Talk about that same prop, I guess. All right. Let's go over to the National League now. And this one's going to be at 5:32 Eastern, 2:32 Pacific with the Mets and the Brewers after last night. Yeah, the Mets, they gave it a nice run there actually in Game 2 and made it a heck of a game there until the Braves closed it out late and got that Game 2 win, and almost as predicted, as expected, whatnot. So here in this one with Severino going up against Peralta. And let's take a look here with these two. You got Borsevi, final 3.91 ERA here in this one for Severino. They were able to, maneuver themselves a little bit yesterday and get off of Severino. May have ended up pitching that second game. I don't know what they were going to do, but the fact that they won the first game, they were able to drift to Lucchesi there to start. And, we sent it out. Hopefully you got that free pick on the winnable. I think everybody was kind of following that same theme yesterday as far as taking the loser of Game 1. Here, look, I went with the Braves in Game 1, and the Mets were able to pull it off by the end of the game, though. It really didn't look like there was much semblance to the bullpen or trying to shut them down, but the offense just kept coming. If they would have won another inning or two, who knows? Maybe the Braves would have won. Or the Braves would won Game 1. So Mets having to make the trip here up to Milwaukee for this one. And Milwaukee here, they've won 7 of the last 8 meetings overall here against the Mets. For Peralta, comes in here currently with 3.68 ERA this season. The Brewers went 19-13 with Peralta on the mound. Mets have gone under in 5 of their last 7 games, and 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone over. And that's actually where I'm going to go on this one. This is going to be, I think, my only over of the 4-game card today, if you know what I mean. So we'll have a few premiums on the others. You can take your pick, take your guess. But I'm going to take the over here in this one with Severino and Peralta. For me, it's going to be the Mets bats against Peralta that can get it done. I just think maybe we'll see more scoring in the late innings, possibly from, both teams, maybe more from Milwaukee when they finally do get deep into the bullpen here, it feels like. But early on, I think the Mets can be expected to maybe get some runs against Freddie with some of these guys. I'm looking for contributions from Iglesias, Vientos, from Pete, of course, and from Martinez, probably as my favorite players today in this one for the Mets. But I think the Brewers can get to Severino here. It feels like it's not a good matchup for him, quite frankly. And I'm going to look for the Brewers also to put up enough runs, maybe even to get this one done late. Let's see what you guys have in the chat. But my pick on the show here is going to be on the over. in this one. Current line is 7.5 under at minus $1.20, $1.25 or so. And let's see what you got. This one last night, they kind of pinned me down on the show a little bit for some picks, but these are more official here this morning. And last night, though, I really wasn't sure on this one, but this is the direction I'm going now. Here we go. In this one, it's going to be who's up? JW on the Mets here. It's going to be R. Thompson on the Brewers. In this one, want to say hello to Brandon the Great. Appreciate Brandon the Great in there. I think we've had him stop by before, but I don't mean to downplay that Tide after 2 innings bet. I really never get around to seeing it on any of my books out here or anything. And maybe I'm just looking the wrong place, or maybe it's specific to that book. I know you told me about that earlier. All right. And look at that. JW also struggles at home for some reason. Dana's got the over with me here in this one. This is my over here today. The Brewers like the over. Maybe Philly Eagle Flyer is saying there. I'm not sure. All right. On FanDuel. Yeah, you told me there. All right. Yeah, that's it. I just thought, by the end there, especially right with the yes, and we know all the things. I'm not going to, bang it into you. You're going to hear it all day about the travel and the doubleheader, and we know all that, right? So hopefully that's all built in too, and it's part of the process. It does feel like here to me. So JW said, yeah, but JW, you know what? I don't know. This game is being played. It's a twilight game. I don't know if it's day or night here. Really. Irish King back on that other game, KC money line. I'll point that out. I'll just say right now, I'm taking the over here with the Mets and the Brewers. All right.
Final.
The time has come. I've talked about Thomas here, obviously, so much with our games. And Thomas has, I know we don't have him here today, obviously. I haven't been able to see him here, but hopefully everything's good today. Maybe it's just busy and working. So, this isn't his only job. Thanks, Sharpie. Yeah, I'm that's what I'm kind of heading here, and I think there'll be some volatility. But again, once they get into the pen, maybe that's why. And like I said, all we know about the whole travel situation. R. Thompson's on the under. Oh, thank you, Thomas. Okay. Well, the point being, before I get to Thomas and in Cleveland and all and PZ and Noli and all those Dodger fans probably end up playing them too. Who knows? But got to get through Justin's Braves. And like I said, the Braves, they could have landed, I think they could have landed one or two other places in starting pitching. They could have even gone with a bullpen game here, but it does feel like they've probably landed on the right guy for what they have left right now with Bryce Elder here in this one. Maybe that's why this total has stabilized a little bit. It is juiced to the over now here for sure. Let's call it 7/15, maybe even 7/20 here at this point. Padres definitely taking some action here. It does feel like no steam yet. I should have reported the Royals took the steam this morning, it looked like, from the Sharps, and also Detroit Houston under was the other widely reported steam, but not really hear anything just of yet. But I will say this is a huge handicapper game, it feels like, with the Padres. I'm showing overwhelming support for the Padres here in this one. And yeah, I think they should have these advantages to this point. I'm just going to, cross my fingers. I'm going to try not to be a homer honk here for the next few games and try to be objective, but it feels like a pretty good situation. I've gone into a lot of Padres, not a lot. I've not gone into a lot of Padres playoff games at all, thinking we haven't had a lot of playoff games, but sometimes the Padres have gone on the road in some situations. They haven't been really, they've gotten whooped sometimes in some of them. I'm not talking about their 2 World Series appearances. I'm talking about some other times when they've gone to St. Louis a couple of times and got rocked swept out of playoff series in the past. They've had some struggles here with the last few postseason appearances as well. But well, the public can't be too wrong on this one. The Padres are getting a ton of support from talking heads, from baseball experts and reporters. It just feels like a good chemistry situation. That's kind of what you want sometimes with your team, but going to have to put it together on the field. And this team's known for gagging a little bit sometimes, but does feel pretty good right now. I'm going to take the under with this one. Before I talk anything about the stats and whatnot. So I think Bryce Elder, okay, I'm okay with starting him here, but I would think Michael King is going to have a pretty strong advantage here in the beginning of the game against those Braves bats a little bit with Harris, with Albies, and with Olsen. Pardon me. With Olsen here, so I'm going to end up on the under here in this one at 7. It's still just a this is the free play, I think, in this game with these two. And yeah, maybe the Braves bullpen is taxed and whatnot, but again, Atlanta was a massive under this season, just all season long, right? Maybe more so at home, but just big time streak. We were riding them for weeks and weeks. It felt like going under in so many games so far, and now Atlanta's gone under in 5 of their last 6. The Padres have gone under in 5 of their last 6 games at home. Braves always competitive here against the Padres for sure when they come to play them, and they almost have had their number a little bit, but they've been competitive too and hanging in there. It's been good games, quite frankly, with these two teams. Sometimes the Braves have gotten the better of the Padres. Maybe there was a little mental block there. But I'm going to take the under here, and my premium is going to be on the Winnable app. So please check me out. Got the plays today will be just a couple of bucks, or you can subscribe for a week for like $7.50. Again, not about the money, really. Maybe it is because I just want to come in here and at least spend a few hours of my time with you guys. And I don't know, I'm all about that tout life. Give me the plays here. You guys, the Padres game here. Dave's got the Padres first 5. Markel likes them to rock by 2 runs here. Sharpie King's been, they last night on the show, Jimmy had asked me to capsulize what I thought. I think he kind of phrased it as, if I told you that Michael King was going to start game 1 of the playoffs for the Padres, what would you think? That's not quite how he said it, but that's kind of how I interpreted what he said. And I, said, hey, look, the Padres got what they wanted in that trade for Juan Solo. And, King has been probably one of the most underrated pitchers in baseball, it feels like, this season. And to have him here, and look at the Padres. I mean, they're going to have Yu Darvish in the bullpen. Yu Darvish, Martin Perez in the bullpen, along with their other and whether or not they've got closer problems or what, it does feel like they have the pieces in there. Like I said, they can mix it up, I would think, late with the likes of Scott. And even if they've had some closer issues down the stretch, usually the Padres have great closing for decades. Obviously, it's been one of the strongest points of the franchise for 30 years, it seems like. All right. Justin says, you got the Braves in pocket for the series. No other bets. Just sit back and watch his Braves lose to the Padres. Justin, we don't even have a gentleman's bet because of the respect that we have for one another. But yeah, Dave, but the Dodgers at that time, look at what was going on with the whole thing. In fact, the most amazing thing about the Dodgers, I mean, when they got into the ownership failures there for a few years, and it seemed like the Dodgers were going to be decimated, I thought that, man, they've really screwed this up in the organization. But it doesn't matter when you're the Dodgers. You're just able to fix it so fast. They never really missed a beat. All right. No doubt, J-Dub, no doubt. But again, they're going to need Bryce Elder to come through with something here, certainly. And all right. And the Braves didn't even look like they wanted to win game 2 yesterday. They didn't want to stay home. They didn't want to get on a plane. They said that they left at 9 p.m. Eastern time for that flight out west. You're traveling out west, so the one thing is always like you think about the travel and whether or not it works for teams going back east or coming west. Well, when you're traveling west, you're going with the time. You're going east, you're going into the time, right? So, all right. Oh, and you're welcome to it. Just I know you know me. I'll be so diplomatic. I'll be tipping my cap to whoever the Braves stars are. So, yeah, Terrell, and no doubt some of the best times of my life right there as a sports fan at Jack Murphy Stadium, especially in 1984 when the Padres won, and I was just 15 years old. They swept the Cubs in those games at home, and man, that was the best. That was the best. All right, Jerry's got the Padres -1. And JW Padres first 5. Padres team total over 4.5. Padres run line. Padres to roll. I hate expectations like that, but I almost want Padres as a dog in a way, but actually they probably are better suited as a favorite. All right, Padres -1.5. Everybody's on them. That's right. Oh. All right, Padres for Thomas. Beasy hates him. He hates him. That's funny. That's all. You know what? It being anytime that we get the Dodger fans to say something like that, it's amazing because remember, the Dodgers' rival is not the Padres. The Dodgers' rival is the Giants. All right. Jerry, no, I think there could be. You're right. There could be. I just feel like what we've seen from the media and everything does feel like Bryce Elder here. All right. Yeah, and his quote was Sharpie in the pregame here a little bit. His quote was talking about King's quote was that the Padre, he basically said, you know what, I played in Yankee Stadium. This Padres situation in their stadium at Petco is one of the most, strongest in the league right now. So, all right. Dave liked Rod Beck of the Giants, although he did play for the Padres for one season. All right. And let's see. I think Jermaine's saying, you know what? Make that bet, Jermaine. Jermaine said, Ramon, make that bet on your team. Back it up. Feels like I got a future on everybody but the Padres in these playoffs. I'm actually in a great position. I could show you the tickets or whatever, the screenshots, but we know. Remember, Thomas was there when I put that 40-1 in on Cleveland. Jerry says maybe tomorrow. We got Freed here. Justin, I don't know what we would bet, Justin. I mean, I'd rather, of course, with all you guys, I'd rather bet something of, the food, the hat, those things. Okay, let's see here. Philly Eagle Flyer, a little bit of soccer here. We're going to get into it in just a moment, as well as WNBA. It's already an hour into the show, so thank you, everybody, for your plays here. And Markel, 1984, Markel, not 19. I'm 55, not 85. I may look 85. Padres and under here for Jermaine. And, yeah, Sharpie. Did I show you that Sharpie in 1984? So if you can bear with me for one more now that we're done with the games, I can tell you about my experience. I've told it once already, so I don't want to bore everybody. But as a young 15-year-old that loved baseball with a mama's boy, single mom, and all we do is go to the baseball games with mom and everything. So what happened was when the Padres, we went to those games, she bought the tickets and everything, and we went to those playoff games against the Cubs with Garvey hitting the big home run. to send the Padres to that fifth game, and then they crushed them really in that fifth game when Tony Gwynn practically took off uh, Ryan Sandberg's head with a line drive, and the Padres had all that momentum back in the day. That's how it worked. But then also the at the end of the game, at the end of that series, and my mom, we bought tickets to go to Detroit. And, we were huge underdogs in that series. And in fact, the Padres ended up losing to Detroit in consecutive games there, and ended up, losing the World Series. But just to get to go there to the World Series, and my mom didn't even show up for the last game. She stayed went to the bar across the street, because that's what, wink, wink, if you know what I mean there. And but I was there in Tigers Stadium there by myself, watching the Padres lose those games, and still the time of my life for a young person to go to those games, even if we lost. And, kind of cements it, right? Because as we get older, things become less significant or important a little bit, right, in our lives a little bit, as far as our sports and our teams, like when we're young. So for me, that just would seem like the highlight of my life as far as being a sports fan and all that, even though we lost. So maybe we'll get it here. The thing about this for me is being from San Diego. San Diego's never won the world championship really in anything significant, at least in my lifetime. So this is the one for me. It feels like right now I need this here to win this series. All right. Thomas says the Padres are a consensus play tonight. Cliff says I'm all over the Padres. And Sharpie talking about the bullpen issues, the woes there yesterday with all that game, with all those games. And PC says Padres riding too high on themselves. Yeah, you know what? That's the one I think the Padres, sometimes that does get to them actually, and that sometimes they choke. All right. And thanks, John Chow's here. Then I look 21. All right, that's it. Dave was at the games too. Kirk Gibson, he hit that home run. Goose Gossage wanted to challenge him. Dick Williams came out to the mound, and he wouldn't let them walk Kirk Gibson. And Kirk Gibson hit a massive home run over the fence out there by me in right center field. That's where I was in Tiger Stadium in right center field at the end of that game. When the game ended and everybody ran onto the field, I thought for a time, I know I showed this earlier this week, but I thought for a time there I was going to escape the crush there of the stadium, but I got pinned up against that blue chain link fence there at Tiger Stadium, and I ended up getting forced onto the field. And at that time, the people were starting to tear up the turf from the ground there, and I grabbed a big chunk of that turf myself and took it with me out of the stadium and brought it back, put it in my suitcase. It was already on the bus, and I took that grass back home and tried to grow it, but that didn't work out very much. But I can remember that like it was yesterday. All right. Sharpie, who was the backup catcher? I might be able to come up with this one off of my head. Was it Fahey? Was Fahey the backup catcher? I'm going to say Bill Fahey. I'm trying to think. All right. That's right, Justin. Let's stop talking about it. And yeah, we didn't even win that one. Okay, here we go. That's it for the. Okay, great. We'll look forward to that, Sharpie, on the Pete show there today. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, I did, Thomas, but this is this is the day. This is the day. Doug Baker. All right. Thanks, you guys. That's it for baseball, and thanks for the memories. All right, let's go to the WNBA tonight and take a look at some of these games here with the Aces taking on the Liberty here tonight. ready and firing here on our games after game one. The Liberty came up with the victory. Oops, that line is not right. It's not. That's four. It's four. It's four. It's 4.5. Something like that. There we go. That's the right line for sure. I don't know where we got. I don't know where we got three from, but anyway, I'm glad we're getting 4.5 because I want to come back on the aces here finally. Yeah, we were on the Liberty in game one, and we were on the under in that game. But tonight, I think the Aces here are going to at least make this exciting and competitive. This feels like certainly a WNBA finals quality style matchup here, and I'm going to just grab these points. I've got a close one for sure. I think, look, if you look overall, the Aces have been on fire here covering the spread of late. Meanwhile, the Liberty, they weren't covering too well down the stretch. Now they're awesome and they deserve to be this number one seed and all that. But still, for me, it does feel like if you look back the whole season right now, the Aces have covered 9 of their last 10 games against the spread overall. And they aren't an underdog too often, but they usually get it done there. The Liberty 5-16 against the spread at home this season. That's not great. Yeah, maybe they were favored by too many points against too many bad teams, it feels like. But I'm going to try the Aces here to wake up and extend this series. I don't know, WNBA, you talk about the zigzag, and there's been plenty of talk about it coming into this one. And these two games in general, but let's see what we got. Hello to Lando here today. And Justin says Aces first half +2. Doug Baker. Okay, R. Tom's on the Aces. And I think that's going to be it from you guys in this one with the Aces and the Liberty. Oh, okay, let me see this one here. Thomas is saying how the format of the WNBA playoffs this season. So let's see here. If I'm not mistaken, what happens is it goes Liberty at Aces. Aces at Liberty, game 3 and 4 back in the other city, and then game 5, you're back to the top seed. That's how it goes in the WNBA semifinals. 2-2-1 is the format. All right. And here we go. A few more plays here. Want to say hello and welcome to first-time viewer, first-time commenter, a new person here in the chat is COR Clan 777 here with a play. Thank you to first-time commenter and first-time viewer. Well, we don't know, but first-time commenter here in the chat, COR Clan. Thank you. And Thomas says Aces plus the points. Terrell says, I'm with the Aces. And we're seeing, has anybody seen, we got a new commenter out there. Has anybody seen the newest commenter? Oh, God, what was it last night? Markel likes the Aces first half money line. All right, give me the Aces here as my pick in WNBA. Game 1 tonight, 6:30 Eastern, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. And it'll be the Sun taking on the Lynx here in this one, Game 2 of this series, with the Lynx here favored by 4.5 after what we saw in Game 1 with the Minnesota Lynx Minnesota Lynx certainly getting the victory in Game 1 over Connecticut. Yeah, we went under in that one for sure. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Make sure we got my WNBA up here and ready to go. But mostly just want to hear from you guys if you guys have any picks here in this one. and I'll give you my pick as well. But here we go. All right. Interestingly, the steam has just come in right now on the Aces and the Liberty. I just want to skip this. That's what got me attention here. You heard it just moments ago. This total in the Aces and Liberty is getting hit. It looks like right now to the under. We're seeing the steam come in there on that other game, Aces and Liberty right now. Okay, well, let's get into this one a little bit here with the Lynx and the Sun at 4.5, 151.5. You know, the steam came in on the over already in this game. It was on the under in the Aces and the Liberty, but over in this one. And thankfully, there was some steam on the over because for me, it almost was getting to a little bit of a tipping point for the most part. Not that I don't think it still will be slammed to the under with these two teams, just because that's just the way it goes. It feels like with Connecticut here right now. And I would think that even Minnesota, with some of their top scoring, may be limited a little bit. Now, Smith, I like here for the Lynx here in this one. Let me see here. I think we got a few plays already coming in here with Justin on the Lynx. Also, here's our Tomps on the Lynx. And Terrell says, still taking Connecticut. They look pretty good. Obviously, it was, they kept bouncing back, hanging in there a little bit. Thomas is ready to go with the Sun, Phoenix Sun. He's ready for the NBA season to start. So I'm going with the Lynx here in this one to get the money. I've got a premium, I think, on the total tonight. I'm going to lay it here as my free pick on the show. Handicappers are clearly, it feels like, on the Lynx here tonight. And JW says they will not slow them down like they did in the fourth quarter last game. Thomas is on the Sun after all. I thought he was trolling me a little bit, right? He says, "Don't laugh. I thought you were trolling me on that one." All right. Yeah, I'm going to take the Lynx here against the Sun. Should be great. I don't know what else I can say. We've talked WNBA all season, and we're just here to that point. You can have a million ways to break it down if you want. But like I said, I think for me, the key, look, we can talk about who you like, whether it's, Collier for the Lynx or how Alyssa Thomas did an incredible job in that first game to spur the Sun. Clutch, right? Clutch. And we don't know what it necessarily holds for Alyssa Thomas, but huge game, obviously, with those clutch plays down the stretch. So I think, though, for me, I think Alana Smith would probably be my key player tonight. Going to need her to step up and probably shoot over her team totals here for the Lynx. She'll be my key player tonight, will be Smith. And Carrington was also pretty strong for Connecticut. They'll have to slow her, and I think that's what they will end up doing. I've got the down arrow here on my favorite player, I guess is the only way I can put it. Hope they're not watching right now, but slow down Carrington here. We'll need McBride and Carlton. I heard, Billy Briz talking about Bridget Carlton and her shooting. So going to need her to have another strong performance. 17 points last game on 6 of 10 shooting, and she made 3 3-pointers. Going to need that again, at least from Carlton tonight. But all right, that might be it here. And let's see, Billy Mack is here, and he says, Lynn Early Liberty all day. I'm going to say that's the Liberty right now. That one, I'm pretty good at reading the typos or errors. But Lean Early Liberty all day. No. Lynx Early Liberty all day? Usually it's got to be Lynx Early Liberty, but those are two. All right. I'm not making fun of you, Billy. I know there was just a typo in there. I was trying to decipher it, actually. So feels like Liberty all day. Thank you, Justin, for everything. And hello to Mikey today. We're so caught up in the season, Mikey. Hey, want to everybody, while we're done with the WNBA, want to let you know to join Mikey and the crew today, Mike Money and the crew, for Dana White Contender Series action. Of course, there will be pre-gaming at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific here on the Sports Money Network. But then following that will be a Dana White Contender Series action tonight, and the gang will be there to pick those fights. Look, because sometimes on the UFC, maybe you have your own opinions, but if you need someone who's done the work and gone in depth on the fights for the Contender Series, these are the tough ones, right? Because you don't know half these folks except for Therese Finney, who is making a living on the Contender Series, apparently. But the 5 fights tonight on the Contender Series, and the gang will be around to handicap them and to pick them and have a great time here on the Sports Money Network with one of our top shows, here, certainly. All right, get to the Champions League, Ramon. Are you ever going to do it here? Let's get to it. And we do have a consensus here with the Aces, apparently. Let me see that here. Padres and Aces are the consensus plays today. And no doubt, Terrell, let's take the dogs. Let's go under as a general rule. And J-Dub says there'll be problems here for Laney and Thornton. Okay. Okay, yeah, Billy, we'll just go over them here. I know that's what we try to do, even if, hey, we got bigger soccer experts than me here on the channel, that's for sure. But we just want to go over the games and let you know. And hey, I do have some picks here, of course, and I'll have some premiums even, because this is one league, because of the nature of it being in the middle of the day on a Tuesday, that I watch probably more so than any other international league here. So let's get into it. Just talk about the games here today real quick, and then we'll get off the air here on the show. I'm not going to go too deep into these. We've got bigger experts here. I'm really just a technical handicapper when it comes to the overseas leagues. So we got Brest coming in here, taking on Salzburg in this one. And for me, look, these early games, I might just go all in with the side and total here. Probably consider Brest here at the plus. I think we can get plus a half. Let me take a look at this here, actually. I have 130 there listed on the screen, and I can get Brest at plus a half at even at South Point. Please give me that. I want to make sure. Let me see what it is here. I don't want to have to go into my app. It takes too long. Got to enter in the password. Let me see what it is here at Bovada right now with Brest. Plus a half at minus 115. That sounds good enough for me. So I'm going to take Brest here and the over. I think maybe over will be my stronger pick here at 2.5 over 40. You might take the 2 3/4 over minus 120 if you want a little better return, but I'm going to try to get this full out win here at $1.40. So I'm going to take Brest to at least get a tie out of this at plus a half. That'd probably be a loser for the total, maybe at 1-1, but maybe we could get 2-2 here. Brest has been having some high scoring games of late in their league play. Salzburg beat TTS in 6 of their last 7 in the Champions League regular season. So, all right. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Skunt's with us with a dono. Let's see what Skunt. We got to certainly look at Skunt's plays here. Thank you so much, Dono. And he's got his plays here. Skunt was just terrific yesterday on one of the shows that I saw him on. Donating his time to give out some great plays. So thank you. Enter to win to nil. Okay, Scott. Astros, Tigers first 3 under 1.5, and Padres money line. Thank you. JW, thank you as well. Hey, this show's about you guys. I'm just here to narrate it. It feels like, hey, I want you to listen to me. I want you to think I've got great volume picks, but hey, tell me when I'm wrong. Tell me when to get on the right sides. So thank you, everybody. All right. I'm on Brest plus a half. I'm going over 2.5 in this one. All right. We got Sparta Prague going up here against Stuttgart. Stuttgart favored by 1.5 goals here. We saw Sub already say, I think, I'm trying to remember what the plays were, but I know Sub was basically saying probably Stuttgart, probably BTTS here in this one. So we'll definitely respect that. I'm going to give out the over as my play here because Sub did say Stuttgart here. Prague, Sparta here getting 1.5 goals. They've been pretty competitive, but Stuttgart can score big time here, it feels like. They've been scoring big time in league play, obviously, so far. And I would think in this one, let's see, Stuttgart. Yeah, okay. I'll take the over. Sub gave out Stuttgart or a little bit, or he gave out the BTTS, I think more so, but he was talking about Stuttgart there a little bit. Here it is. Thank you, Sub. I knew you were in there somewhere waiting for me to screw this up. Stuttgart to score in both halves. So, yeah, okay, got that. And that, that is a lean, certainly, to saying that Stuttgart will have a pretty good game, especially talking about the BTTS. So, rather like Stuttgart to win and over 2.5. I'm actually going to, let's see what I have it at here on the screen. And they are liable. Yeah, so I have it at 3.5 under 30. I will take it at 3.5 goals here at plus $1.10 or so. But again, in soccer, man, when I'm giving out, if I say I like over, you want to lay juice on a big 3, get your money back, that's fine. You want to buy it up to 4 and get even better return. I'm just saying more chance of goals here for me. I'll take over 3.5 officially here on the show. All right. Those are the 2 early games in the Champions League today at 12:45 Eastern, 9:45 Pacific. Now we get into the 3 o'clock starts, the night action here on the East Coast with Red Hot Celtic taking on Borussia Dortmund. Ooh, this seems like a good one here for sure from Induna Park. Here, Dortmund favored by 1 goal. And man, Celtic's just been awesome here of late. This one feels like it's going to be. Dortmund is great defensively. We know that, but Celtic is just so hard to stop, and they end up, they get a little loose in good games, certainly against very good teams. It feels like. So I'm going to go over 3 goals. I don't feel comfortable about it at all because I think Dortmund, this is my play. I do like a side on the premium. But I think for me in this one, Celtic has certainly sometimes some issues in Champions League games, certainly, especially against some of the better teams here. But, man, it just seems like they're playing so well right now and that maybe they can get, a draw out of this and get this game here and get this cover here, it feels like. And Dortmund, I think if they're playing anybody else, I'd probably be thinking an under. But I think just against Celtic, it feels like it'll be a game where maybe it will be just, 2-1, I know is right on the total. That's why I'm giving out the over as my play. Maybe it'll get to 2-2, I'm thinking. So let's see. We've got Subhuman here as our official analyst, I think, saying he could see this one going over. That's where I'm going on my pick here on the show, certainly. And that's good. We do want Dortmund. Like I said, in Champions League play, you think of Dortmund at home. I'll usually think an under City for the most part, but I just feel like the way Celtic does it. Markel says he's got the game to go over 3.5. Was that over? Let's see. Celtic. Yes, sir. Celtic. I took 3.5 first half goal. I think that means a very high scoring first half with a huge return is what that feels like. If Markel is saying he's just taking this game over 3.5 in the first half, that would be wild. That would be wild, but all right, Lucky Power here today. Great job, Lucky Power, as always, last night. Good to see you. Okay, I'm on the over here with the Celtic and Dortmund. Look, I'm going to, me, I'm going to be on under a lot of games. Here's Red Star taking on Inter. Inter favored by 2.5 here. And probably going to just roll with Inter here in this one as my pick. I mean, I don't know. Can Red Star even score in this game, it feels like? You think of Inter in the Champions League, they're impossible at home against mediocre competition. I would think like a team like Red Star here. Inter may win this one, maybe 3-0. Here, I'm thinking I'm going to take Inter 2.5. Look, they're plus 120 at 2.5. That's what I'll take. But I think you can get it -2 and a little bit better. And then if they win by 2, that's fine. But I would think here, Red Star just dismal. Actually, they're just overmatched in these games. As good of a team as they are domestically, they're really out of it in some of these games. And how are they going to score? It feels like it's got to be 2 or 3-0. I would think here in this one. Let's see what we got from the chat. Skunt here with Dortmund and Stuttgart. Here, team total over parlay for both. Robert McCormick is here today. And Fade Red Star on the road. Skunt says it'll be 2-0. I hope he's talking about this one. That's what I'll do. I'm going to go with Inter here as my pick in this one. All right. Manchester City is going to take on Bratislava. Manchester City may be looking to take it out on somebody. I know the last game was close, right? And we saw what happened to Bratislava. We know there's a lot of things hanging on Manchester City right now, but if they can just, they've got somebody they can really throttle here, it feels like to me, and I'm going to lay 3 goals on the road against Bratislava at this point. Not much to say about, just a huge mismatch here, certainly. And if you wanted to try to see one from Bratislava first, you got one, and I don't know, it wasn't too pretty. So I'll just take City here, probably 4-0, 5-1. Could it be something crazy like that today? 5-1 or so? Could Bratislava even score? I think maybe they will. Feels like Manchester City, they just keep pressing and want to keep scoring. And yeah, maybe they give up one here and there. So Manchester City -3 goals here at -130 will be my play in this one. See if you got anything here. Markel says take Holland to be the first. How about that goal he scored? You're like, right? The one thing, I got a friend. I don't know if he's watching here off of my Facebook, but I got a friend that he's like Holland. He's like, makes it look easy and talks trash to your face, even though you want to I like Holland. But that was pretty funny what he said in the post game to the other. Stay humble. Stay humble. Isn't that what we all want to say sometimes? Tell Holland to stay humble. But when you just have that great magical touch, when he ran on that ball and can still definitely, slide the ball home, he's not all about power in it. He's got power and finesse. So I'm going to take Manchester City here with Holland to score. All right, young boys taking on Barcelona here. And Barcelona, big favorite here, 2.5, -145. I'm not sure I can lay that kind of price even with Barcelona here. I'm sure they can take care of business here, but I don't know. Young boys take so many chances and gambles. They're certainly overmatched here, it feels like. But Barcelona plays down to the level of their competition sometimes, it feels like. So I'll just take the over here. This one could be something, could be 4-2 or something like that, feels like. In this one, maybe only 1 goal for young boys. Maybe it will be just 3-1 and I won't get there. Maybe it'll be 4-1. I mean, there should be no excuses here for Barcelona, but still, whatever the case may be, when they are a big favorite, sometimes they end up just getting it done somehow. So they do go over certainly a lot in Champions League matches. See what you got here. I see Markel saying young boys first half here. So hopefully it gets there on the offensive end, it feels like to me. I'm going to go with the over as my play here with young boys and Barcelona. All right. Next up, I thought we had somebody mention Milan here and Leverkusen. in the game here tonight with Milan. Look, they're a decent underdog here, but I don't know. I think Leverkusen can get this victory by margin. But I think for more so for me on my play here on the show, I'm going to take over. And look, Leverkusen is a pretty solid under team in the Champions League. I get that. But Milan here could get the tally that makes this one go at least get there to 3 goals and put you on the free roll here a little bit. They might be competitive. I think what happens here is Milan does have a little bit of offense for Leverkusen and maybe do get the goal or maybe two that makes it necessarily get over the total here. But I don't know. Leverkusen looked pretty good. They got the nice win in the opener. Milan did not, if I'm not mistaken. So I think I'm going to take the over here in this one. And Billy talking about Holland's great numbers, certainly. All right, my play's on the over here. All right, Lisbon's going to take on Eindhoven here, and Lisbon's a favorite on the road. I think the price is too high, but I like Lisbon, but I don't like them at $1.40. How come they're not? I thought this would be closer to a pick 'em or so here, but I don't know if I can get on Lisbon here. I think I'm gonna go BTTS in this one. I think I can here now over here on the Sports Money Network. I don't necessarily back on that other channel. I kind of stuck to Asian handicap and totals a little bit because that's what they sold over there. But in soccer, we're going to branch it out more over here and give out some of those more sophisticated plays like a BTTS here, it feels like. In this one. So see what you guys have tonight. I thought yesterday, someone made a play on PSV yesterday. Did I write that down? That's where I got confused. There was a moment of hesitation yesterday on the show, and I'm like, where is PSV? And they were playing today. So, all right, no comments from you here on this one. I'll just go BTTS with Lisbon taking on PSV here today. All right, last up, maybe the best game of the day here with Arsenal minus a half a goal at minus $1.35 here, 2.5 over 35 in this one. And can Arsenal, man, it just seems like right now that Arsenal, look, PSG, they can get into some high-scoring games, but I think Arsenal knows if they're going to win this game, they've got to keep PSG to 1 goal or less. I'm going to go under here in this one. I don't think Arsenal is going to feel comfortable necessarily in a shootout here. PSG, they are a nice underdog, but they will need to make sure that Arsenal stays low with them. I think if they're going to have a chance late. Now, Arsenal usually does get into a little bit of scoring. Like I said, I'm taking the under here. Maybe it is a contrarian under with PSG and Arsenal. But at 2.5 at a little bit of plus money, that's going to be my play. And let's see here. Oh, here we go. You guys are picking up steam now. Robert Franklin says, how about PSG here on the three-way? And Fernando says, Sporting to crush. All right, I like to hear that, Fernando, because I'm worried about the price. But if you like it and think it's fine, then I'm probably gonna roll with you a little bit on. Probably gonna roll with you on that one. I mean, I was hoping the price would go down a little bit, and I'd send it out here as a play. I mean, I know it is what it's lost so much value on the line, though. Man, I still like it. All right. Fernando hates the Eredivisie. Robert says, give me Arsenal and PSG under a half a goal in the first half. And I think that's probably going to do it here on the show. All right. Robert got a great price. That's what, look at Lisbon plus $1.65, and no one's going to come close to getting that price right now. So good on you guys getting those prices early in that one. And that's my dilemma here. maybe waiting too long or whatever. I try to let the market settle before I send out my play. The average player is going to be faced with the same situations. They're not so sophisticated like you guys to get those great prices, but please do get on there early. And we'll just cover it every day like we do here. So I don't know if I can get to it as a premium, but the way you guys like it now, yeah. Look, I'm not. One thing about what I do is I'm an aggregator. I like to look at picks from other sources too. I mean, I have my power ratings. I have all the trends that I love to look at. But I love, especially now that we have Team Steam a little bit. So maybe I've got Lisbon here as a premium now that you guys give me the confidence here. All right, that's going to do it. Great day of sports action coming up today. So just a few moments ago, I want to mention the Connecticut Sun. We're taking some steam here, and you might see it now if you look at the odds here. They were what? -4.5, maybe 5. Now we're seeing plenty of 4s out there. Connecticut taking the steam here again. Could they shock here against the Lynx tonight? All right. We are very sophisticated, Robert. That's going to do it tonight here on the show, and have a great sports betting day here, and be back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, with more morning steam, previewing all the games from today. Don't forget, we got 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. Mike Money joining you for pre-gaming. He'll take a look at all the primetime action, including the Major League Baseball game that of the Padres and the Braves, and the WNBA action probably as well. I'll have a little bit of I think I'll get to a NHL preseason card probably on the free package today over at Winnable. Took the day off there from NHL preseason here a little bit, but I think today with an 8-game card, probably look at a few and send out the free picks. So why not follow me over at Winnable, and I'll send you some selections as I look over the news and notes from each team. That's how I kind of handicap the preseason. It kind of rolls with the market moves a little bit here, but you also want to make sure you're not overpaying. Well, sometimes you are overpaying, but that's just the nature of preseason, it feels like. So please check me out over at Winnable. Sign up for my free package of plays. You're going to get not only those plays, but some other ones as well. There it is, 0. Just hit the subscribe button. It comes right up, and you can get free picks from me for 0. You can turn on the notifications here, the subscribe buttons right there. Turn on notifications, and my information will come right to your device as I sit here with all of my TVs and my computers and my big scoreboard, and I send plays out to you. We're only here for 75, 90 minutes, 105 minutes every day. So thank you, everybody. Use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off all of those packages. And really, it's just a good way for me to gauge how many people are following, and it supports me here on the channel when you subscribe to these very inexpensive plays, quite frankly, over there at Winnable. Like I said, you can get right now, how about a week with me for $7.50? I think it's cheaper than, like I said, content is one thing, right? But how about these news organizations that want to charge for, I get it, right? New York Times, whatever. But if it's behind a paywall, is it really news? What if the sky was falling and you didn't have a subscription? All right, that's going to do it here on the Morning Steam. We'll catch you back here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Hey, click on the QR code if you want to get to that page faster here. It'll snap it on your phone, and I'll pop right up on your screen. Hit me up with a subscription. I'm going to send out some good plays here today. We're already on some of these tennis matches right now, including this underdog Naomi Osaka on the free plays today, plus $1.30. And right now, it's still got a ways to go, but Osaka did win that first game 6-3. I'm peeking behind my computer to make sure, and they're in the second set right now, close match. So hey, enjoy it. A good match here right now. Osaka and golf playing here in Beijing live as starting our day. All right. For the Sports Money Network, Guillermo, we're done. I'm Ramon Scott. Sancho, where you been? Love you guys. See you tomorrow. So long.